What's going on, guys? The Comics Kid 2099 here. Today I want to talk to you about Riverworld. This was a 2010 sci-fi miniseries. It was 2 nights, and it stars Tomo Pennicat. He was in Dollhouse and Battlestar Galactica. Lara Vandervoort, she was in Smallville, and I think she's been in a few episodes of Supergirl. And Alan Cumming, who played Nightcrawler, and he's been in a lot of other stuff that I have not seen. And this is pretty dumb. It's not as bad as that Mythica garbage that I watched last week, but it's still pretty bad. If you've ever watched Lost, this kind of reminds me of Lost distilled into about 3 hours, for better or worse. Now, Lost has a reputation of having all these unanswered questions that never were resolved, and really, if you sit down and watch Lost and you actually pay attention, there's not as many unanswered questions as a lot of people give that show credit for. There are a few things that are never brought up or are left dangling, but a lot of things that people didn't understand are actually answered if you pay attention. That's not really the case here. The problem with taking a premise like Lost and trying to cram it all into 3 hours is that it becomes very noticeable when plot holes emerge. For example, the basic premise of this is that everyone on the planet dies, and I guess they all get reincarnated on this planet called Riverworld, where there's this giant river that zigzags all over the planet, and people reincarnate at different points on the river. I guess it's everyone on the planet, but the main character, he reincarnates like right next to all of his best friends, and I don't really understand how or why they all reincarnate right there on the same point. For some reason, people who die at the exact same time on Earth will reincarnate at different points on Riverworld. That's never really explained because Tomo and Lara, they are dating, and then she reincarnates like 4 years before he does on Riverworld. Everyone gets a little bracelet on their arm that allows them to get food and whatever they need from these tower things, except for a select few. Mark Twain, he's in this. He doesn't get a bracelet. Tomo doesn't get a bracelet. The guy who played Mythos in The Highlander, he's in this. He plays the bad guy. He doesn't get a bracelet. It's never explained why these guys don't get bracelets, but apparently they are very special if they don't have bracelets. But all I'm seeing is, okay, it's going to be harder for you guys to get food than it is for everybody else. So everyone on Earth, I guess, reincarnates on Riverworld, and then once you're on Riverworld, if you die, you might or you might not come back to life on Riverworld. The guy who played Lieutenant Gaeta on Battlestar Galactica, he's there at the beginning. He dies and he does not come back. Or if he does, we don't see him come back. Maybe he comes back somewhere else on the planet. But then you have other people like Tomo's best friend on Earth, who is his cameraman when they were doing battlefield journalism. He's died like 2 or 3 times and comes back within the course of this miniseries. He comes back like within miles of where they were. So it's never really explained why some people will come back and some people don't. At one point near the beginning, some of the bad guys are talking about how often they've committed suicide and come back, and then Mythos says, don't do that because one day you might not come back. Now that's really dumb because Mythos, he's the bad guy here. His entire motivation here is that he wants to destroy Riverworld because he sees this place as a punishment for people, a purgatory that they cannot escape from. So he wants to just to destroy the whole thing and then get rid of all of it. If you believe that if you commit suicide, eventually you won't come back, Mythos, then why don't you just keep committing suicide and eventually you won't come back? Why are you trying to destroy this for everybody else? It's really dumb. The motivations in this are not thought out at all. Tomo, he's been dating Lara in the real world for like 8 weeks, I think is what he says. And then in this, his entire motivation is trying to find her. It seems like he's trying to find his wife of years, but it's a woman he's known for 8 weeks. It's a little bit, they're laying it on kind of thick here. And then we find out that in the 4 years she was here before he got here, that she started dating Mythos, and then she's in on his plan, but also she's kind of on the fence about it. Her motivations don't make any sense at all. We don't know why she was dating Mythos or in love with Mythos or whatever for the 200-something days that they were together. We don't know why she's in on this plan with him. At the very beginning, when Tomo reincarnates in Riverworld, Mythos is also in the river. He's in the river looking for, I think her name is Jessie. I'm just going to keep calling her Laura. But he's also in the river looking for Laura. And then Tomo confronts Mythos, says, "Hey, why are you looking for my girlfriend?" And then Mythos just punches him, and then he walks away. And then we're never told what happened to Laura. Why was she reincarnated again? If she was on Riverworld for 4 years and was with Mythos for 200-something days, what happened to her that she was reincarnated? We're never told that either. This movie, or miniseries, whatever, it's actually based on some books written by Philip Jose Farmer from, I think, the late 70s. So maybe those books are better than this. Maybe you have to read the books in order to get a lot of the questions that I have here. But I shouldn't have to. If there are tons and tons of unanswered questions in this miniseries, they should be answered here. And I get that part of it is that this was a backdoor pilot for a series that never emerged. That's inexcusable. You don't need to be leaving that many unanswered questions in a backdoor pilot. You have something like the 3-hour miniseries for Battlestar Galactica. There weren't that many unanswered questions. You had a very simple conflict. Cylons are robots. They attack the humans. The humans are on the run from the Cylons. They're looking for this magical planet Earth. Turns out it doesn't exist. There's not that many unanswered questions. You have a lot of characters to keep up with, but you don't have that many unanswered plot threads by the end of that miniseries. And then, lo and behold, it got 4 years of an ongoing TV show. You have something like this, where there's more unanswered plot threads than there are actually answered plot threads, and it doesn't go anywhere. I am shocked. Wow. This is really just not very good. Like I said, it's better than that Mythica thing that I watched last week, but that's only because the characters here are only slightly less archetypical than they were in Mythica. They actually feel like slightly formed characters. Some of them don't have motivations at all. Some of them have very, very, very little motivations, but overall, this is better than Mythica, but it's still not great. So if you're a fan of the Riverworld books, I would really love to hear your thoughts on this. Did you watch this? Did you like it? There was another Riverworld series in 2003 that I have not seen, but I can only imagine that it was better than this, but who knows, maybe it was just as bad. But anyway, those are my thoughts on Riverworld. I hope that you guys liked this review, and if you did, be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe, and I'll be back with you guys later in the week with another video. In the meantime, you guys have a great rest of your day. Catch you later.